Welcome to Astralis Academy. I am Professor Amara, and this is the college lecture in mundane astrology, the oldest and most ambitious branch of the astrological art. Today we turn from the individual chart to the chart of the world itself. We will read the skies of nations, empires, and entire epochs. Joining me are Dr. Li Wei, Professor Priya, and our guest from beyond the zodiac, Zor-Ed, of the Crystalline Chorus. Let us begin.
Before the lecture, our faculty gather to frame the central question: can a nation truly have a birth chart? Professor Amara speaks first. Nations are born, and they die, like any living thing. A state has a founding moment, a first breath. Dr. Li Wei adds, a state's chart is a hypothesis, never a verdict. Professor Priya reminds us, the old texts called mundane astrology the art of kings. And Zor-Ed offers a cosmic perspective. On our worlds, we chart entire biospheres, not merely borders.
Our story begins in Babylon, where mundane astrology was born. The scribes compiled the Enuma Anu Enlil, 70 clay tablets of celestial omens, dating back to the second millennium before the Common Era. If the moon is eclipsed in this month, the king of the west shall fall. If Mars approaches the Scorpion, plague shall visit the land. The state was the patient, and the sky was the physician. Every eclipse, every rising of a planet, was read first for the king, and through him, for the kingdom.
The Greeks transformed the omens into doctrine. Hellenistic astrologers cast charts for cities and kings, and developed Katarshik astrology, the art of choosing moments for the founding of a state. In Byzantium, Persia, and the Islamic world, astrologers sat at the right hand of power. And in medieval Europe, the tradition reached its zenith. Astrologers elected the hours of coronations, advised on declarations of war, and their charts shaped the fate of dynasties. This was truly the art of kings.
The modern mundane toolkit rests on techniques refined over 2,000 years. First, the ingresses, the sun's entries into the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, each casting a seasonal chart for the whole world. Second, the lunations. Every new moon and full moon serves as a monthly weather map of world events. And third, the foundation charts, the exact moment a nation, a company, or a movement was born. These three form the skeleton of modern mundane practice.
If individuals have a Saturn return at 29 years, nations have theirs too. And empires breathe on the slow rhythm of the outer planets. Saturn's 29-year cycle marks generational turning points for states. Pluto's 248-year orbit traces the rise and fall of superpowers. And the Uranus-Neptune conjunction, every 171 years, brackets the great revolutionary eras of history. Nations, like people, are born under a sky that never stops moving.
And now we reach the great conjunctions. Every 20 years, Jupiter and Saturn meet in the sky, and every 200 years, they meet in a new element. The medieval master Albumasser made these conjunctions the key to the rise and fall of dynasties and fates. The conjunction of 2020, in the sign of Aquarius, began a new 200-year era. Whether we call it a cycle or a coincidence, the rhythm is real, and the students of Astralis are learning to read it.
Eclipses have always been the loudest alarms in the mundane sky. The Babylonian priests read them by sign, by house, and by nation. Modern astrologers study the Saros cycles, eclipse families that return every 18 years, echoing history like a drum. The rules are precise. The eclipse's degree, and the planet that rules that degree, tell us which lands and which leaders will be touched. An eclipse is not a sentence. It is a spotlight.
But astrology is not only studied in the lecture hall, it is lived in the clubs. Tonight, the Mundane Affairs Society meets. Students from 6 continents, and 1 crystalline guest, debate the ingress chart of the coming year. Their weekly task: compare the ingress, the lunation, and the foundation charts, and find where they agree. As the president says, we do not predict headlines. We chart probabilities, with rigor, with humility, and with joy.
The faculty returns for the postmodern panel. What does it mean to read nations today, when power is global and data is everywhere? Professor Amara speaks. Mundane astrology must decolonize its gaze. Every nation is a subject, not an omen. Dr. Li Wei. The sky is data. Narratives are where meaning is made. Professor Priya. Ancient kings asked the astrologer when to march. We ask why we march at all. And Zor-Eth concludes, you now see what we always saw. No nation is an island in the sky.
Let us move from theory to practice. We cast the Aries ingress for a capital city, and walk through the judgment step by step. Step 1. The rising sign and its ruler, the face of the year. Step 2. The moon's place, the mood of the people. Step 3. The malefics and benefics, where pressure falls, and where grace falls. This is not fortune-telling. It is a disciplined reading of the sky's grammar, applied to the life of a city.
With the art of kings comes the burden of power, and so we speak plainly about ethics. Mundane charts describe tendencies, never verdicts. The astrologer's duty is clarity without fear-mongering. We do not write fate, says Professor Priya. We write weather reports for the soul of the world. A prediction that terrifies without informing is not astrology, it is propaganda. The difference is the difference between a tool and a weapon, and we choose the tool.
And what of the future? Artificial intelligence, planetary science, and global data are transforming the oldest branch of astrology into something new, and the students of Astralis are at the frontier. Machine learning tests the ancient conjunction cycles against centuries of history. Satellite data meets lunar and planetary rhythms in climate research. As Dr. Li Wei puts it, tradition gives us the questions, and data gives us the tests. The sky remains the same. Our instruments have never been sharper.
The lecture ends, and the sky remains. Astralis Academy welcomes every mind that looks up with rigor and with wonder. Our programs span mundane, electional, and medical astrology, and our clubs, the Mundane Affairs Society, the Timing Guild, the Twin Flame Society, are open to all. Until next time, remember the words of Zor-Eth, no nation is an island in the sky. This lecture was created with the teamily AI agent. Look up, and chart on.
Let us now examine a living debate, the foundation chart of the United States. Every nation's beginning is contested, and no chart is more debated than this one. The candidates are 1776, the Declaration of Independence, 1787, the Constitution, and 1789, the first government. The Sibley chart, with Cancer rising, and the Declaration chart, with Gemini rising, each tell a different story of the same nation. The debate itself teaches us the deepest lesson: foundation charts are living texts, and a nation is a conversation.
The cardinal signs mark the world's 4 seasons, and its 4 great axes of change. The Aries ingress is the year's breath, the beginning of the solar year. The Cancer ingress is the people's charter, the chart of the masses. The Libra ingress is the year's balance, the chart of treaties and law. And the Capricorn ingress is the state's foundation, the chart of governments. Each axis, in the old doctrine, rules specific nations and regions, a geography of the sky.
Across history, sudden lights in the sky were read as the loudest omens of all. Comets announced change, and their meaning was read by sign and by direction. Novae and supernovae, sudden glory, sudden ruin, and Halley's Comet in 1066 became history's most famous omen, recorded in the Bayeux Tapestry as the herald of the Norman conquest. Modern astronomers and astrologers alike still pause when a visitor arrives unannounced.
The fixed stars carry the oldest memories, and the fortunes of nations are written in their light. Regulus, the heart of the lion, is the star of kings, glory, and its price. The heliacal risings of Sirius governed the sacred calendar of ancient Egypt. And in mundane charts, the fixed stars act as ancient witnesses, their slow light spanning the rise and fall of empires. When a fixed star joins a nation's angles, history takes notice.
If a nation has a chart, it has a body, and the houses map that body's life. The first house is the nation's identity and people. The 10th is the government, the crown, the constitution. The 4th is the land itself, the home, the common soil. And the 7th holds its allies and its rivals. Reading a mundane chart is like reading a body. Each house a limb, each planet a pulse.
Nations have Saturn returns too, and their outer planet returns mark the long arcs of history. The United States felt its Saturn return in 2005 through 2007, a generation's reckoning. Pluto's return takes 248 years, the slow wheel of empire. And Jupiter returns every 12 years, the pulse of national expansion. The outer planets are the clock of civilizations, and we are learning to read their hours.
From the tulip mania to the modern exchange, the sky has been read as a market's oldest chartist. Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions have been linked to the long Kondratiev waves of economic history. Eclipse families have marked market corrections, patterns, never certainties. As Dr. Li Wei reminds us, markets are made of human hearts, and hearts have cycles. Financial astrology is not a crystal ball. It is a map of collective mood, drawn in planetary light.
Long before satellites, astrologers were the world's first climatologists. The ancient texts promised weather from signs and planets, rain from the water signs, storms from the malefics. Lunar phases governed tides, planting, and harvest, the farmer's astrology, practiced for millennia. And today, data scientists test planetary rhythms against climate records. The old questions are being asked again, with new instruments, by a new generation.
Let us read the last 4 great conjunctions, and the eras they opened. The conjunction of 1966 in Virgo dawned the information age. The 1981 conjunction in Libra opened a decade of diplomacy and debt. The 2000 conjunction in Taurus marked the dot-com reckoning. And the 2020 conjunction in Aquarius began a new era, a 200-year turn of the wheel. Each meeting of Jupiter and Saturn closed one chapter and opened another, in the sky and in our world.
Sometimes a nation's story is written by a single chart, and the mundane astrologer must read both skies. The leader's chart and the nation's chart stand in dialogue, one personal, one collective. Eclipses falling on a leader's angles have marked the turning of eras. And as Professor Amara teaches, we read leaders with humility. They carry more than their own fate. They carry a people's story, and our words about them should be gentle.
The students of Astralis are building the future of the oldest astrology, one algorithm at a time. Machine learning tests the ancient rules against centuries of records. Predictive models map eclipse and conjunction patterns at scale. And as Dr. Li Wei says, the sky is the same. Our instruments are new, the mundane art is entering its most exciting century since Babylon, and its practitioners are the young women of Astralis.
We return to the hardest question: when we read the fate of nations, whom do we serve? The ancient answer was the king. The Astralis answer is the people. We practice astrology for the people, not the powerful. We publish probabilities, not prophecies. And as Professor Priya reminds us, the sky belongs to everyone, so does our reading of it. The art of kings has become the art of citizens, and that is a revolution in itself.
The students of the Mundane Affairs Society bring their hardest questions, and the faculty answers. Can astrology predict a specific war? It charts conditions, not commands. What about the climate crisis? The sky warns, we must act. Is mundane astrology science? It is a discipline, test it like one. The Q&A reminds us that the art is alive, that it grows by questioning, and that the best students of the sky are those who refuse easy answers.
The lecture season ends, and a new generation of mundane astrologers steps into the world, chart in hand, sky overhead. Our graduates carry the art of kings into the age of citizens. Zor-Ed leaves us with a parting gift. No nation is an island. Remember us when you look up. And Professor Amara's blessing rings in the hall. Go, and chart with courage and kindness. The sky is not finished with us. Neither are we with the sky.